Hey everybody, how's it going? So, got another drum course to talk about. This time we've got my very good friend, you know him, you love him, Scott Elliott. He's like Henning, just way more pleasant to watch and listen to. Very knowledgeable dude as well. But seriously though, it's really cool to have Scott back on the show. You guys remember Scott did that incredible course, Guitar Tone Mastery, which was just absolutely amazing. I mean, like I've actually gone through it twice now, just because there's so much information jammed in there. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'm going to try this. I'm going to try this. That's really cool. Let's do that. So the one thing I love, Scott, is that you always say, why? You have to answer the question, why? Why do we do it? Not just use your ears, bro, but why?
Yeah, it's the same thing with drum programming. And the thing that I found...
No, not drum programming! What the hell, man? You gotta record real drummers! What the fuck, Scott? What is this crap? What are you pushing, Glenn?
I am a real drummer, by the way. I've never even told anyone on my YouTube channel. I'm actually a drummer first and a guitarist second. So I have many years of playing drums, to include the infamous don't play the hi-hat so loud when I was recording in the studio. So been there, done that.
But you're too smart to be a drummer.
What? Please repeat.
I said, but you're too smart to be a drummer.
No, man. Hey, maybe. I can count to 4, all right?
Okay.
Leave me alone.
Sometimes on a good day when the wind's right.
Yeah, it depends. It really depends. Like if it's too humid or something, whatever. Yeah, too many beers, it's all gone. But yeah, that's the main. So the why, right? And when I was dealing with a lot of clients and one-on-one calls, it always felt like, oh yeah, drum programming. It's just it's a technical task. You hit the humanize button, you Reaper, you're done. It's like, wait a minute.
That's the key to a successful mix.
Yeah, it's like, wait a minute, what about all this stuff before you even program anything? Like, how do you think like a drummer? How does a drummer wouldn't play it like that? No, a drummer would do it like this. This is impossible to do this. So all this stuff of thinking like a drummer.
Think like a drummer. How would a drummer do it? Well, think of the logical way to approach something and throw that out the fucking window. How does a drummer think? Stick make noise.
The funny thing though is we can say that, right? But like you have recorded a lot of drummers, so you're exposed to them. So you understand literally like through osmosis kind of, right? And playing yourself. But a guitar player who maybe has never jammed with a real drummer, me saying that is useless, right? So what I've done with the course is I have very much legitimately discussed how to play drums. This is what the drum kit is. This is every piece of the drum kit. Here's how it's used. Here's the hi-hat, which is actually a stand comprised of 2 cymbals, a rod, a clutch, a pedal, and a chain. And here's how it's, I mean, all the details that someone could understand where they have this idea and they just don't know how to make it happen because they don't understand the instrument. It's like, it's like I'm trying to write a string line, but I don't know how strings work. I have to go in and go, here's a violin, here's the range, here's how they play it, here's the articulation, here's how it's played. Oh, so I have the idea, now I understand what it is. And that's what I've really done, is we have a different set of criteria when we're writing drums. We're not guitars. We have a different goals that we need to accomplish to drive the song forward. So it's not like, I have a guitar riff, let's do the kick drum. That's not drumming. That's not playing the drums. There's a whole lot that goes into it to understanding. There's actually a relationship between the kick and the snare. They have roles. They're supposed to do different things. The meter cymbals, hi-hat and chinas, they have roles. They're supposed to, china, ride. They're supposed to do stuff. And if you're not a drummer or you have not been around drummers, how could we expect you to know, right?
Right.
So it's like, so that's what I'm really doing here. I mean, there's tons of demonstration too. I got some stuff that I could show you. I mean, if you're interested.
Yeah. Let's roll a clip. Let's see how this works, because of course a lot of people who watch the show are going to be like, Glenn, we just got Henning's course. And it's like, well, Henning's course is great for rock and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You're kind of more in the metal and the extreme stuff. A lot of a lot of serious double bass stuff, that kind of thing. And let me guess, a big part of it's not 127 the living shit out of the kick all the time.
No, actually, the funny thing is you should almost never have 127 ever, unless it's I
agree.
Really slow tempo or it's a deliberate shank of this in the rim shot.
Sure.
That's probably the only time there'd be a 127, and not even then. It really depends on the library, because all of them are different. I talk about that too, how to analyze them, find out the velocities. All that stuff is in there.
Very cool.
It's all like Guitar Tone Mastery, conceptual so that it can be applicable regardless of what you're using.
All right, let's roll a clip and see what you're up to, Scott.
Now, the big difference is that because a person is using one kick drum, the hit before the main kick is actually going to be lower in volume by the way how the technique is on the kick pedal. For example, the ride, and use some cymbals like this. Nothing has changed with the execution of the Rosanna Shuffle. It's just that the right hand is now doing something different. Now, the reason why you can play these so much faster in real life is because basically you're giving your hands and your feet a break. It's pretty easy to rip off 4 notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then to rip off 4 notes on the kick or 2 notes on the kick and then go back to the hands. So you can generate a lot of speed with these type of fills, and they can sound amazing. So here are quads with 2s and 4s. So we go 4, 2, 4, 2. We're still doing a verse here, but with those screams, those doubles, the song is basically calling for another extreme. Just listen to that. With the way the vocals are and the way the guitars are sort of ending that little passage there, it's like, okay, now the drums need to kick up again. The drums need to do something interesting. The reason I'm doing this is because there's plenty of time for hand travel here. Like the drummer is setting up to do this. And just because the drummer has more time to think about what the fill is, and it's a really simple fill, they can really lay into it. So we just want to take them off the grid so they're not perfect. You see, we're already creating little flams and stuff that would happen in real life between double kicks and tops. You can hear that. That's what makes that song realistic. Not because they're humanized with velocity. I mean, that helps, obviously. But humanized with velocity plus taking things off the grid, that's really the secret ingredient to making drums sound good. These small little flams that would happen because a human being cannot play everything exactly at the same time. That is exactly what we're looking for.
All right, we're back. And Scott was just mentioning he wanted to show something on your end that you're doing with Reaper. What's this all?
One of the things that everyone loathes is this, drawing double bass. Isn't this fun, Glenn?
Yeah, and then copy, paste,
Everyone
copy,
loves
paste,
doing
copy, paste, copy, paste.
Even better than that.
That's
There's a
metal
couple
as
different
fuck,
ways.
man.
Absolutely. And this is what people hate, right? They're like, this is the slow, laborious process I don't like. Well, what if you could just draw a note and hit one key, and now you have double bass?
Oh, actually,
what
that's
if there
cool.
was a way that you could do that, select every single note, every other note, and hit one key, and now you have them on 2 different lanes?
Oh, and can you adjust the velocity like that too? So you
Yes.
like take the because usually most
There you
drummers
go.
1 foot is dominant. So
Yes,
whoa.
Exactly. So this is, and that, not
you
just
you
like I have 4
crafty
bars here.
motherfucker.
4 bars, double bass, select, go, done, one key,
How
done,
the
and we can done.
How the fuck are you doing that?
I show it in the course. It's just a bunch. This is a Reaper function, actually. It's built-in Reaper. I just found the hotkey for it.
Oh,
and
fuck.
I did that. But that's not the coolest part. The coolest
shit.
part is
I think
on this
even
right
I want to
here.
check that out. Damn.
Look up here. I have the grid settings, right?
Okay,
This
yep.
is not difficult. You can just set
Yeah,
everything.
I've
But
got my
watch
Reaper
this.
set up for that too. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to hold down Shift and move my mouse wheel.
Oh fuck, that's pretty. Aren't you clever?
I'm going to hold down Shift, hit T, go to triplets, move my mouse wheel.
Oh, triplets, the
what's
thing
the-
drummers can never play on their kick drums ever.
Here's the application, right? Let's say we're at 200 beats
Oh,
per minute. I go,
hold on. I got a question. Can you
right.
show how to program kick drums like on triplets like drummers actually play them instead of like perfectly grid aligned?
yeah, sure. Oops, that's not difficult. So we can just go like that and then hit humanize and just basically fuck it all up like that.
Okay, that looks much more like a real drummer would do. Okay, I had no idea you could do any of this. I think I want to take this course, man. I mean, like, this is the thing. I mean, like, I get it. Most of the people out there watching the show are not, sitting in full studios with giant drum rooms with massive amounts of microphones and great preamps and all the rest of the crap, and then have talented drummers come in. They are stuck doing this. So I understand. That's the vast majority of you guys. Please continue. This is really fucking cool. I'm learning shit.
So
here.
the application, like the whole point of the course is I want to make, like the hill I'm trying to die on here is I'm trying to show you that drum programming can be a musical and creative process. Honestly, what I'm trying to get people to understand is drum programming is just as musical as creative a process as writing out your song. Like, why are you going to spend days working on a song, structure, recording your riff, spending all that time, and then be like, drum programming, That's like, you just destroyed your song.
Sure.
So there are technical things in here that I'm showing people that'll make it way easier and faster. I
Okay,
get it.
great.
You know, I mean, I started in 2001, and drum programming back then was literally one click at a time.
Yep.
And before then, in the before times, that was with a pad doing math. That really sucked.
I used to write on a Roland sound canvas back in the mid '90s, and I had a very rudimentary MIDI sequencer. I remember like '93 laying out drum beats and like thinking, wow, I can do all this really amazing shit. And it's like, yeah. Then I got into real drums. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
it's like,
it's really like that. And so, technically speaking, it's not that difficult. I'm going to show you how to do it. There's a lot of great shortcuts in Reaper that's going to make it way easier so that you can stay in the flow to write drums. So
Okay, cool.
let's do this application, right? Let's actually delete this one. Here's a really common thing that happens. So someone's going to do a snare. Now let's just do a roll of the toms, right?
Yep.
Now, normally people are going to like draw every single one, but now we got this little shortcut where I can do that, right?
Yep.
Cool.
Okay.
And then you're like, wait a second. It's really common for drummers to start in 16ths and then maybe end in triplets. So what if I backed up here? We do this one in 16ths. I hit Shift T. I go to triplets. I go to eighth notes, and then now I have that. It's Can
you play that back? Let's
fast
hear
to
that.
do it. Yeah, it's so fast to do that now.
Okay, that's
probably
cool.
a little bit quick.
And
Maybe
yeah,
I could
can
do,
you
like-
can you adjust the velocities a little bit so it isn't like all 127
Sure.
to shit? How to can you
Same thing
randomize the
here.
velocity a little?
Yeah, same thing here. You can select. I have this cool thing here. It selects every other note. I can bring them down. Let's do this first. So I know just by this, we should do that. And then I can do
113,
this. I can bring it down to like 10. Let's go 93. So it's
a
still a
little
little
much.
fast, but and then you can go even further. Like you go with the humanized function. Then you get in here. I show how to do all of this.
Oh,
'cause
you can
gotta mess with
humanize
timing.
the velocity. Let's crank that up. Let's see what happens there. I'm very curious.
So you can do the timing. It's all you can do the timing bias if you want to drag the beat or speed it up.
Okay,
Usually
like
you
every
speed it
drum
up
I
if
know.
you're a metal drummer.
Can you use that to randomize the velocities? Let's see that again.
Yeah, you just has H. It's Reaper function, and you can really jack things up.
Okay, we saw the
I talk
timing. Let's see what
about-
happens when you do the velocity. There we go.
Sure.
Yeah.
You got to be careful with this because usually this is what's going to happen sometimes. I talk about it in the course. I really don't want to take your time in the video, but you just got to do this strategically. So you do this
Okay.
in chunks. You just don't select all and hit H and be like, done. That's the
Yeah,
wrong
okay,
way.
fair enough. That makes sense. All right.
So just, Jesus Christ, like that.
Okay.
And people will be really shocked to understand. You can go pretty crazy with this. It's the ear test. Does
Okay.
it sound like it's being played fluidly? I talk about that in the course because
All
this
right, great.
looks like you like, dude, that looks like shit. And you press play. You
Yeah,
know,
that's
it's something-
definitely does not sound as robotic as I've heard on a lot of people's records. It's like, okay, like I said, it sounds like like Guitar Tone Master. Even though I've been recording guitar for a couple of decades now, I mean, like I still go through that and I learned a lot. It looks like this is the course I got to sit through as well
Yep.
because there's some really cool shit in there.
There's custom macros that I've come up with. Because normally if you want to paste this, you go Control C. You got to select the measure, Control V.
Yeah.
I have one. I can just hit V, just paste for days.
Oh, okay, wow,
that's-
look at that.
So this is all geared towards maximizing your time and just making it easy as possible to program so you can musically think of what you're trying to do.
Okay.
On top of that, let's just jump straight into this. I know people are going to be curious about it. I talk about ghost notes. I
Oh,
have
great.
This entire session, just examples and examples of ghost notes, rudiments, how they're used in drums all over the drum set, doubles, flams, paradiddle, everything that most metal drummers are going to use to make their fills more interesting, just make their beats more colorful.
Sure.
All demonstrated right here for people to see. Not only that, all the basic core skank beats and blast beats programmed in their entirety, demonstrated. I talk about it in detail. I show you guys how to program everything.
Yep.
And there's this really cool hotkey because I have a hotkey setup where I can show and hide only the notes that I'm working on. That's why
Oh,
I can
great.
only. It's really nice for screen space. Like I'm on a 2K monitor. I think you're on 4K.
Yeah.
But a lot of people are still on these little laptops. So
Right.
it's a great screensaver.
Now you did this
screen
course
space.
in Reaper, didn't you?
Yeah, it's all Reaper. It's all
Oh,
Reaper.
that's
So I
fantastic.
recorded everything. Not recorded. I programmed everything in Reaper, so it's all in Reaper. And then
Wow.
finally, the big enchilada, if I may say so like that, is that there's 5 steps that I created, much like Guitar Mastery, where it takes you logically, sequentially in order of, hey, here's step 1. This is what you should be concerned about. Don't care about any of this stuff yet. Here's step 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I demonstrate that, and I write drums for one of my songs from beginning to end, start to finish. So I demonstrate everything. And some pretty funny things happen too, because like the sequence that I came up with saved my ass, because I made a pretty big mistake that I overlooked, recording videos 4 o'clock in the morning. And then, but the next step, there's like a built-in, you go back and check what you've done.
Okay.
So you protect yourself as you move along. And it's just, so you're not trying to think like, I need to do everything at once. It's no, let's partition this out. You do this, then you do this, then you do this. And by the end, you've gone through it, and here you go. So, I mean, it's 11 hours, Glenn. I can't possibly talk about everything, but I mean, literally, you want to know how to think like a drummer? I tell you how we think. You want to know how to improve your creativity? There's a whole video on how to do that. I mean, specific actual things that you can sit down and do if you're a non-drummer. So, I mean, it just could go on. 11 hours.
Okay, so that 11 hours. Okay, so what 11 hours, what's the cost? What's this going to run people if they want to get this one?
So full price would be $147, but you know us, we're going to do the launch deal, which is $97.
When's this deal going to last till? When can people get in on this?
Well, I mean, as usual, it's the launch price. So, I mean, no more than 10, 14 days, as always,
great.
All
right, well, I'll keep everybody posted in the loop there. So this is great. If you only got Henning's course, I'd still recommend getting this one as well, because it's going to be a different area. It's a little bit more metal-oriented, and there's nothing wrong with Henning's course. Henning's course was fucking amazing. This one's, for you metal guys who want to do, blast beats and that kind of shit, but do ghost notes as well, apparently. So that's actually pretty cool,
It's really part of the metal drumming. A lot of, like, for Sean Reithart, from Cynic. Dude, that was a very jazzy drummer. Metal drummer, played in Death, but even Death had those articulations and ghost notes and stuff like that. And a lot of prog metal and stuff is really popular. And ghost notes are hard as shit to play in real life. Just full stop, guys.
Yep.
Just don't program a bunch of them. Give me your drummer. He's going to look at you and go, dude. but they're far easier to program. And then, I talk about how to analyze your software, where to find the velocities, how to do it. It doesn't matter what you're using. I mean, it's all in there. A to Z, everything.
Okay, well, there you go. That's Scott Elliott. He's got Metal Drum Programming Mastery up for grabs on sale for the next couple weeks for $97, and then regular price is $147. So grab it today, especially if you're a Reaper user. Now, I know a bunch of you guys out there are Reaper users. We did a poll a couple weeks back, and out of 20,000 people, like half of you guys are using Reaper. So if you want something specifically designed for the Reaper crowd, this is the course you want to get. Scott, thanks so much for being on the show, dude. It's always a blast having you on board. And yeah, like I said, I definitely learned a lot from your courses. I think I'm going to sit through this one as well and hopefully learn a few things as well.
Please let me know.
Okay. All right. That's it for this episode. Thanks for watching. Go check out Scott's course. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.